laptop here too, and I'm hoping that this is, it's always interesting because I have things like set a certain way, and then when here we go, much better. Okay, last but not least, some chapstick, and they're good to go. Hello, everybody. Much better. Okay. Let's see. Anna, good morning. Summerstar. Charmaine, hello, good morning. Sia, oh, you made it. It's so funny because I was actually chatting with Sia in the garden, and I was just like, I too am having a hard time waking up earlier. So I'm thinking about changing there we go. Changing the time frame. So it's nice to see you here. Thank you for getting up with me. Jack, Monique, hello, hi Chris, welcome. Shawnee, welcome from Maryland. Hello. Oh my goodness, yes, please. I love making playlists. It's literally like my love language. Hi Nicola, how are you? Ilana, hello, hi. Thank you so much. It's so funny because normally I don't necessarily know what I'm wearing to a live. And then I'll get like a visual picture of like what to wear, and that's usually what I go for. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. It's technically my silverback. It's technically my power color too, so that's always a good sign when people are also seeing that too. Oh my goodness. Hi everyone. I'm so excited for today's class because man, oh man, okay, do we have some fun things to discuss? I'm literally just pulling up the notes now, but we're going to talk about the law of detachment today, and I felt like this was a really great topic for all of us to explore, self included, because it can be really jarring to want something so much. I'm going to have to fix this. Give me 1 second, guys. My notes came out literally, they just look chaotic. 1 second. Here we go. 1 second. Okay. And the funny part is, I have been up for like an hour and some change, and I still don't feel like I'm up. You know what I mean? Let me know how everybody's sleep has gone. Happy lunar eclipse. It was yesterday, but still, you know. I just want to see how everybody's doing, how everybody's holding up. People are drinking water, staying hydrated. Please let me know while I get these things together. It's taking a little time to do, but that's okay. I'm gonna exit full screen here, and then I'm gonna pull you guys up over here so I can see all your beautiful names. Okay, so much better. Okay. Okay, perfect. Waking up early too. I've been up since 4:30 Dallas. Yeah. My sleep has been very interesting, if you will. But I know it's like all a phase, you know, like it'll work itself out. It's what or at least that's what I tell myself. And that's what I'm going to tell myself. But today I figured we talk about the law of detachment because a lot of times we want something in our lives or we're looking for an outcome. And when we don't get it, we feel like we've done something wrong or like we're out of alignment. And I want to talk about this spiritual law. There are 7 spiritual laws. I think there might be 11. There might be more now. But there were 7 spiritual laws that I learned when I first started my wellness and spiritual journey, and it helped me to really navigate life and my desires. And one of the ones that um, ironically, I struggled with, because I actually don't have a big attachment issue, if you will. Like, if I need to let go of something, I'll let go of something and just move on. But when it came to like my desires, it might have been my Capricorn stellium holding on to these things, but I would be so hell bent on making these things come true in my life that I tend to like suffocate the desire. So we're going to talk about what that looks like for everyone and how we can utilize EFT to help us release that need. Okay. So I'm very excited about that because, again, these classes are as much for you as they are for me. So it's always a nice reminder of like, look, girl, this is why we do the things that we do, and why we show up the way that we show up, right? Here we go. So let me just check in if everybody's good. Good topic. Thank you, Summerstar. Branda, is it Brandy or Brandi? Hello. Yesterday I got up at 2:40 a.m. Today 3:30 a.m. This is not normal for me, but I've been feeling rested. That's good. You are getting up during ancestral hours. So in my culture, we say ancestral hours. Some people say golden hours or God hours. It's usually between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., where the veil is most thinnest throughout the 24-hour cycle, where you're able to like connect with spirit more. So that's usually when, like, devout practitioners will get up and pray. I usually have a season where that's what I'm doing. I'm up at like 3 a.m. and like I'm in prayer up until 5. And I feel like I'm kind of coming back into that season, which is why I'll be switching around the time frames for the class. But yeah, if you're waking up during that time, what I would suggest is to connect, maybe meditate during that time. You can tap during that time. You can also journal. There's so many great things for you to do to like capture the energy that's there for you. So that might be something you want to try out, Brandi. There we go. I had one-on-one with the moon last night. Oh my gosh, Jack, how was that? I usually sleep well this morning, woke up. We're all waking up so early. Oh my goodness. See, yeah, you're not alone. I have attachment concerns too. Like, which is why it was so funny because I'm like, oh, I don't know necessarily what I want to teach about. And normally I get an insight on what to teach about. These aren't, as much as I would love for them to be planned, again, this is my need for control, okay? Like, I would love for them to be planned in advance because it just is easier for me and my nervous system. I'm also strengthening my faith, which means that a lot of times I'll have something prepared and like sources like, yeah, we're not talking about that today. And I'm just like, oh, really? Because I have everything prepared to talk about this exact thing. And now you're saying like not to talk about that at all. And I'm just so confused as to why, you know? So this morning, I was just like, you know what? I don't know what you want me to teach about, but I'm sure when you're ready, you'll let me know. And then literally out of nowhere, a whole class downloaded. I'm like, oh, okay. This actually makes a lot of sense because if I'm experiencing concerns with attachment, I'm sure my community is as well. And like we can navigate it together while also utilizing this partial lunar eclipse energy to get through it all. So if you haven't watched that replay for the Lotus Hour on this past Sunday, it's on YouTube now. It's available. I did put it in the email yesterday. I would definitely check it out. You can still tap into that energy and utilize it. I didn't necessarily put a ritual in there either because eclipses are already going to do what they need to do. You don't need to like do a ritual. You know what I'm saying? However, what you should do is be aware of what's happening so you don't feel blindsided by the immense changes that will happen regardless. Okay? Okay. This is so wild. Everybody's like literally waking up during God hours. This is so wild. Chantal, hello. Love that you're strengthening your faith. Do the same when I facilitate group spiritual direction. So important to do that, right? Like, it's going to be one thing that I'm learning in this new journey of starting over for myself personally is how Source is utilizing the things that I am always concerned about and allowing me to experience with you guys in real time. So normally in the past, in my professional life, I would experience things a bit, maybe like a few months before my community would. And it allowed me to have a lot more like clarity on how to guide people. However, I definitely felt a little detached, of like, okay, I'm not really in the moment with you all. And then, things change and now I feel like I am literally in the moment with you, maybe like a step ahead to just be like, okay, it's safe to walk here. You know what I mean? So this is also a new experience for myself as well. Yeah, the Celestine Prophecy, oh my goodness. So I decided that what I'm going to do is a series of like audio notes and put them in the garden because I have so many notes alone that I'm like, okay, like, if you guys see, I'm almost done rereading it, but like, where's the other page? Because I was on the train to the point where somebody was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm writing in my book. Like, can you guys see all that? Like, literally nothing but notes, because especially the eighth insight is all about beauty, and I love talking about actual beauty, as in God's expression of love. I love talking about it. So being able to read it and connecting it to other books that talk about beauty and the science of beauty and how it affects our brain and our mental well-being, like, oh, I was so excited on the train yesterday, like, yes. So yeah, we're gonna be, I promise, there will be a nice series on each insight. And I'm just gonna allow Source to guide what that looks and feels like for everyone. I'm gonna just share what comes up for me, and then universe will sort all that stuff out. I'm pretty sure of it. Okay? Also had a hard time falling asleep in the first place. I did too. I had to use hypnotherapy to go to sleep last night because I just wanted to stay up, and I was like, girl, you have things to do in the morning. We're not staying up. You have things to do. Like, go to sleep. So yes. See? Yeah, it's just so wild. Yeah. Well, I mean, the moon does mess with internal clock, and when you have an eclipse, it'll definitely do that, right? Because eclipse energy is that light switch energy. It's going to be on and off. And if the universe or whoever you call on to needs you to get a message and it needs you up at a certain time, it'll just get you up at that time. Like, if the message needs to get through to you, it will get through to you. Okay? I know, he slowly pulled himself together. We're going to pray for the protagonist in Celestine Prophecy, because it only took him to, what part am I at in this book? We're not there yet. We're not at the ninth insight. We're on page 209, and he's just getting his life together. This entire time, he was an absolute mess. But I think it kind of speaks to us as people, as human beings, in our own journey. You know what I mean? Okay. He does need prayer. I agree, Jack. He definitely does. All right, so let's first talk about the definition of the law of detachment. I think it's super important. So, detachment is about releasing the need to control the how and the when of your desire, trusting the universe to handle these details. It's about planting the seed of intention and allowing it to grow. This is really important. A lot of times, and we're going to talk about this in a few, when we are wanting something, we're trying to figure out the how and the when. Like, I need it by this date or else. Or like, it needs to happen exactly like this in order for me to know it's for me. And depending on your chart, like your birth chart, depending on your human design, there are like context clues that can let you know how you can properly manifest. And maybe we'll talk about that at some point in time. But ultimately, the how and when is really not your business. It's not your concern. It has nothing to do with you, per se. And that is where we experience struggle, where we experience burnout, and where we are legitimately just stressed out about getting the things that we want, because we are not doing our own work. We are doing God's work, or we're doing Source's work, right? And think about that. Like, we're an extension, right? We don't necessarily need to be doing all of that work. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. But because of our understanding of like false control, and our misinterpretations around the fact that we are co-creators, like, we just kind of forget the co part, and we just go straight into like, we're creators. And we are co-creating with Source. Whatever your source may be, you are in union with them, which means that both energies, both sides need to come together to make almost like this mastermind, or like how they say in Celestine Prophecy, a super person, if you will, to then go and live out this fulfilled destiny, right? And when we do not allow the universe to come in and do the how and the when, we don't really get it the way that we want to, right? And let me know if that's a different experience for you. But for myself, and for a lot of people that I've worked with over the past couple of, like, I guess the past decade or so, when we focus on those areas, we always bring ourselves to the brink of just heartache and disappointment, right? Here we go. Courtney, hi. Accepting uncertainty, we live in the illusion that there is certainty. Exactly. That's the control factor you were speaking of, Lola. That's exactly what I was talking about. Yes, exactly. Like, it's not that we're not really in control. I have influence here and there, but even my influence is honestly limited. Like, the more tapped in and tuned in you are, the more you realize that you do have a level of authority over your life and ownership over your life. However, the direction in which you think it should go is almost never where it needs to be. Usually the universe surprises you with a complete U-turn, or I don't know, like an upside down experience where you're just like, wow, this is exactly what I needed, but I would have never guessed that this is how I had to get here, right? So important. Hi, Leanna. Julian Cameron, The Artist Way. I literally am redoing my Artist Way journey. I love this. Talks about we don't need to know the how. No, the how is literally not your business. If you ever do a manifestation class with me, and I tend to hold them towards the end of the year, that is literally the secret sauce to all your manifestations. The how is literally not your business. It's not your business. It's not your ministry. You don't have the skill set to handle the how. This is why a lot of us fail and we end up feeling so disappointed and discouraged. It's because you are literally doing something you are not qualified to do, and you shouldn't want to be qualified to figure out the how. Like, there are so many, we already have enough on our plate that we have to figure out. We're going to talk about that in a few too. There are things that we should be putting our energy and attention towards that we are designed to do, and that when we do those things, we actually help source, universe, whoever you call on to streamline those desires that we want. And those desires end up being even bigger and more beautiful than we could have possibly imagined. Super important for us to remember that, okay? Oh, and it's coming up right now. I love this. My notes keep me on track. Oh, before I do, this is a donation-based service experience class. So if you are able to donate, at any time you get an aha moment, or you're like, this really helped me get through something, and you're able to give financially, by all means, you're more than welcome to leave a love donation here on the platform, or you can leave one later. This does help to keep me able to do these lives, because it is donation based. It pays for like bills and things like that. If you're unable to donate financially, do not worry. There are different ways to do a proper energy exchange. So if you want to subscribe to the podcast, or subscribe to the YouTube channel, join one of my private memberships, work with me one-on-one, there are different ways for you to show up. You can even just do something as simple as leaving a review for one of the tracks if you like the track. This all helps to keep that relationship between us symbiotic and mutually beneficial, so we can get the most out of our time together, okay? All right, back to what I was going to say. This is a key takeaway. We are co-creators with Source, God, whoever you call on to. Our role is to ask, believe, and receive. Those are the three things we're focusing on. Ask, believe, receive. That's it. There's a lot. It seems like it's not a lot, but it's a lot. We're going to talk about why it's a lot. Okay? The how and the when are up to the universe, which is always working in our favor, even when things don't seem to go as we have planned it to be. Okay? So again, asking is very simple. You need to be able to ask with clarity, with authority, for what did you desire. 9 times out of 10, you don't know what you actually want, which is why you don't have it. You can't properly clarify. A lot of us feel like, oh, I just need more money. But that's not a statement that can warrant any real motion, right? It would have to be like, I want $10,000 so that I can put it towards a scholarship fund so that Black creators are able to have a sabbatical every year, right? That's so much more clear, right? It starts to paint a picture. You want it to be as vivid as possible in your ask, to the point where it's almost like you're playing a movie in your mind. And you can always go back to the work of like Dr. Joe Dispenza on like mind movies and how powerful they are in helping us to create a world from our inner world, right? And influence the outer world. So that's what we need to do with asking. You need to be clear on what you're asking. If you're asking in a very broad way, it's confusing. And like the universe does not respond to confusion at all. It responds to black and white, yes and no, right? It responds to the feeling of it. So the clearer you get on your ask, the easier it is for you to get what you want to receive. The next thing is to believe. Once you've asked for the thing, a lot of times we tend to negate it by not believing we can have it. We'll say things like, oh, I'm not that lucky, or I wish I could have that. Like, you're already talking yourself out of the thing. Like, what was the purpose of asking, right? If we're going to ask and be bold enough and brave enough to ask for what we desire, to get clear on that, only to dismantle it by not believing. Belief is crucial. If you do not believe in something, it is not real. And I want to give you a great example. A lot of us believe that the sky is blue, right? We're like, with our eyes, our ocular devices, this sky looks blue. But there are people in the world that don't believe that, because they feel like depending on how the sun hits the atmosphere and how the light bounces off of the atmosphere, it looks blue. However, there is no color to the sky. Both beliefs are true. It just depends on which one you're subscribing to. Some people might be like, yeah, but it matters on what I can see, and what I see is a blue sky. Your belief is true. It's like, oh, actually the science says it's XYZ. Your belief is true. You can't really, like, I always tell people life is way more magical than you realize when you understand that these are choices. Like, this is a belief that I can choose to have, or a belief that I can choose not to have. And I I tend to do this a lot, just in challenging my own thoughts and processes of like, okay, cool. Why do I believe that this is a true statement, or this is a true thing? Why? Because some people might see my shirt and see it as red. Some people might see it as like a deeper orange. Because the majority that says it's red, we believe it's red. The same thing we think about money. It's literally a piece of paper that has some numbers on it. But like, the paper itself has no real meaning. It's the belief that we put into it, that this dollar is different than this $50 bill. But they're both pieces of paper. We add meaning to life through our beliefs. And what we believe then becomes true. And the majority of people that believe in something, that's what it is. However, it doesn't always have to be that way. You can think of things like, you know, the airplane, right? When you think about the Wright brothers, even though I know they're not the original creators, however, they're the most popular ones to talk about, right? People did not believe you could fly in the sky. There was a communal belief of like, we don't do that. We travel by train, we travel by horse and buggy. This is how we get around. You guys are doing too much, right? That because they had a belief of like, no, I feel and I believe and I can envision us in the sky, we now are able to get all over the world. Belief is really important. If they did not believe in themselves, we would have never had these experiences. So I want us to keep that in mind. You can think about other people like Steve Jobs, wanting to have everybody, him and Bill Gates, though they were not together, they had the same idea of having personal computers in everyone's home. And everybody was like, computers are supposed to be large and huge. What are you talking about? Yet here we are with personal computers in our homes, right? These are things for us to think about, and the power of belief. There's also a really good book, and I want to say it's The Science of Belief. I want to say that's the name of it, but I could be wrong. No, I'm pretty sure it's The Science of Belief by Bruce Lipton. And he really breaks down how what you believe in creates your reality. So that alone takes up a lot of time and energy and focus to believe, especially when you're in an environment with other people that don't believe that what you desire is true, especially when you are unfamiliar with what that can look and feel like in your life, right? You're going to need to cultivate your energy to strengthen your belief. So already we have to get clear on what we desire, have the courage to ask for it, right? And then now believe we can actually have it, which means fighting off self-doubt, fighting off self-sabotage, fighting off traumas and old programming. That's a lot of work right there. And then you have to receive it. You have to be open enough to receive it, which means letting go of things in your life that are no longer in alignment so that you have the space to receive the desire that you ask for and that you have belief in receiving. But if you do not have space in your life for it, how are you going to get it? Then it goes, I don't have the space for it. So even if it shows up at my door, where is it going in life? Where am I placing this thing, right? So already we are focusing on ask, believe, receive. That's a lot of mental and energetic work. And somehow we'll disregard the things that we actually can do and jump straight to how, strategizing how we're going to get this thing and when it's going to happen. Like, this is why many of us do not receive the things that we desire, because we are lopsided in our understanding of the role we play in our life. Does that make sense? I have a lot of books near me. At least in this moment, maybe like 12 books. Yeah. There's always books around me, and then like I have little mini bookshelves everywhere. I feel like I've been so out of tune with myself lately. Am I the only one? No, it could be the eclipse energy court. Yeah, it's like it's a weird thing. I don't want to say we're not qualified to like run the universe, because we are the universe. It's a very nuanced statement, because we are the universe. So we do have a deep level of influence over our reality. However, we're not the only person that has that type of influence over reality. There's a collective energy. So I don't know if it's in the Celestine Prophecy. It might be in the second book, in the 10th Insight. But we have these things called, like, the way that James describes it, soul groups, where there are collectives of souls that come together, come to earth to make something happen, right? That's like, you might have like a soul group that's all about like environmental health. You might have a soul group that's all about like spirituality and wellness, like all these different things. And you connect with these people and they help to build out this bigger vision, because on your own, it could be overwhelming in the human form to do this thing. So in that understanding, like, you alone, no, you're going to need some type of community and connection to amplify that. Does that make sense? It kind of can feel a little tedious. Okay. And that's part of my problem, always wondering how, causing my own issues and anxiety. Yeah, we usually are the people that are doing that. I know we like to think it's other outside entities, but it's usually us causing drama in our lives. Like, we usually are the drama, you know? Yeah, dropping the how now. I love that. Yes, letting it go with this full moon is a perfect thing to do, which is why I feel like I got the download to teach this today, to remind us that we are able to let go of these, of the how and the when, and the only way to really learn how to do that is to practice law of detachment. Okay. Yes, that specific amount for that specific purpose. Yes, I think I've got that. I think I got it going now. Okay. I'm asking for material. Shawnee, can you rewrite that? Oh, okay. Let me see. Marquand, hello. Okay, I'm not asking for material things, just peace at work with employees. We'll talk about how that works too. Because whatever you're able to do with the physical, you have to first do with emotion. Like, that's literally how it goes. When you're talking about like downloading or manifesting an experience, it starts from divine source and it works its way down to the physical, but it has to pass through the heart first. It has to pass through the emotion. So if you're looking to have some sense of peace, that has to cultivate before you even get to the physical. So if you're able to do that part first, you'll be able to get anything you want. We talk about the material first because that's what people are used to. They're used to the things that are tangible, things that I can hold and feel. Sometimes grasping emotional, energetic work is really complicated for people to do, right? So for instance, if you want peace in work and it feels very chaotic, you're actually in the perfect place for you to practice peace. I speak about this a lot in my lives. What you ask for, you then get put in a place for you to practice having it. It's not gifted to you on a silver platter, but kind of in a way it is, right? So if you're someone looking for peace and you are amongst chaos all the time, you are able to practice peace by using the law of detachment, of saying these things outside of me are not going to influence my inner world to where I no longer feel safe, or I feel like I'm also in chaos. I can acknowledge that things outside of me are not working the way that I want to and still have internal peace. That is a very true thing. And when you start to resonate with that, right, asking for internal peace, because again, just asking for peace at work is not as specific as it needs to be, because you're then trying to control other people's outcomes. They are irrelevant to your experience. However, your internal peace, you have complete influence over that because it's within you. So asking for internal peace when I am at work is a clear statement. Believing that even in the midst of chaos at your work, you are allowed to and can cultivate peace for yourself is the second thing you would need to do. Do you believe you can have peace at work? Because you probably don't if you're not having that experience, right? If I feel like I'm unsafe somewhere, it doesn't matter what people tell me, I feel unsafe. That's what's going to be the overriding feeling for me. But if I start to begin to believe that I can have peace in a space that I've known for a very long time to not be peaceful, you have to have the law of detachment in order to do that. because you're still attached to the old outcomes you've had to experience and did not enjoy. So your ego is coming up to protect you and be like, no, we never feel good here, ever at all. So let's just mentally prepare ourselves that when we go to work, it's not going to be a good thing, but we'll get out of it. You're already identifying to the thing that you don't want. That's where your belief is. It's not in you having inner peace when you're around people. Then the next thing would be to what? To receive that peace. And that would literally look like people losing their minds around you and you just being like, that's crazy. Wow. I hope you guys feel better about that. It's getting to that space, because when people are asking for peace, you're asking to be unbothered, which means that you have to have a detachment from the outcome, because peace is going to look and feel different depending on who you are, your life experiences, and the environments that you are in alignment with, and the dynamics through the people and the relationships that you have. Does that make sense? So it's not a general understanding of peace. It's very specified to you in your experience. But from what I understand about peace, you usually are unbothered. So a great example I can give you for a lot of educators, and you guys can let me know, especially if you work with like younger kids, like preschoolers, they're like crying all the time, right? And it's so funny because you can tell when someone is like, I'm always in a state of peace. Like children can be like literally crying, and I'm just like, I understand in your tonality and your cry, like if you're hurt or if you're hungry, if you're tired, or if you're just trying to get an emotion out, and it doesn't affect me the same way. So I'm not frantic when children cry, like, let me calm them down, like, right? Putting myself in chaos because this child is experiencing chaos right now. Instead, I'm just like, okay, cool. You're upset. You're totally allowed to be upset. You're allowed to have these emotions. I don't have to engage in your emotion because I'm at peace. I'm not bothered by any of this. If this is the experience that you need to have, then you need to have the experience. I'm not going to engage with you in a way that's going to take me out of my peace. Because one, my intention here is to hold space for you, and I can't do that if we're both frantic. One of us has to take the lead, and I'm not expecting it to be the other person. You should never expect it to be the other person at all, unless you're maybe in a professional dynamic where you're working with like a therapist or a certified practitioner. They are qualified and have the skill set to lead you. Other than that, anyone you interact with, you shouldn't be expecting them to take that first move. If you are someone requiring a desire of peace, of love, of whatever it is you're calling in, you need to take the first step. The first step is asking for it. Second step is believing it. Third step is receiving it. Does that make sense? Grand Rising, Goddess Mo. Oh, I'm so happy to have you here. Yes. Steve Jobs worked with a guy called Steve Wozniak. Yes, I know, in the basement. I know. But they were also competitive with Bill Gates at the time. They actually knew each other. So it's such an interesting story. Bruce Lipton, Science of Belief. Thank you, Jack. The Biology of Belief. Thank you. Tanya, hi. You didn't miss anything. You're right on time. Hi, Kelly. Good morning. Oh my goodness. Yay, I'm so happy you're here. Yeah. Okay, it's making sense. So happy to see everyone today. Marquand, we're happy you're here too. That moon was something fierce. I couldn't sleep last night. Oh goodness, I think we all were literally on the same timeline. This is so wild. How long is the energy around us from the eclipse? There's like a general consensus of 3 days before, 3 days after. However, you can literally tap into energy whenever you want to, depending on, I want to say, like how tapped in and tuned in you feel, depending on your practice. You can work with any moon because time is a social construct. I know that sounds like really woo-woo, but if that's too much, 3 days before, 3 days after. Very, very simple. If you're someone who wants to dive in a little bit deeper, maybe you're like a mystery schooler or something like that, then like literally whenever you choose, you can call on that energy because the energy never dies. It never goes anywhere, if you will. It's always accessible to you with alignment. Okay? Vita, good morning. I let go of some courses, too much. Yes, Marquand, that's amazing. I was featured in a magazine yesterday. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yes, I totally forgot to ask for people's wins. I want to write that down. Here we go. And I always have something to write with now because you guys always have great things to tell me. Marquand, give me a second. I want to write that down. You were featured in a magazine. Congratulations. That's amazing. Okay. I let go of the extra class on Sunday. I know I must focus on what I can do. Yeah, don't overdo it. I love that you were able to let go of something and feel okay in doing that. Super important. This energy has been really crazy. The stress and hard times for many people. Change is coming, I do believe. Kelly, it definitely is. We're literally talking about that right now. So you literally, your spirit is like locked in, and I love this. Um, yes, after I let go, things I have already put the work into started to show up. Yeah, because you created space to receive, right? I love how you're literally in real time putting the pieces together. You made space to receive, and this is you receiving those things. I love this. Yes, your home repair is coming. I love this. I so need this reminder. Hi, Marla. I'm a new teacher at a high needs school, and I'm overwhelmed and scared and feel like a failure. Remember, you have the actual authority and influence and ownership over how you experience life. No one else has authority over that at all. No one can. And I want to like reference where this comes from. Will Smith actually has a really good conversation about this with his wife, Jada Pinkett, in one of their conversations on the Red Talk. But there was something I've heard about beforehand, and maybe it was Les Brown. But like the understanding is that no one can make you feel anything. And the sooner that you acknowledge that and take ownership on how you feel, it changes everything. It is a choice. So someone could say something really mean to me. It's a choice if I allow it to affect me. Most times we are unconscious of that choice, so we just let it affect us, and then we end up carrying traumas and all the other things in our lives. However, when you become conscientious of that, you can sit there and say, wow, you're saying something that I don't really want to accept. I don't think that there's a need for me to accept that, and I'm not going to. That helps us to practice the law of detachment. That helps us to be unbothered. This is why I say often that people aren't, like, I'm not someone that can be offended. I'm not, there's not much you can say that will offend me because it's a choice if I choose to accept that as true or not. And if it is something that I just feel like is wild, I'm not accepting that. So it's not true for me, which means that you don't have any energetic connection to my emotions or my energy. You're not going to feed off of me. And essentially that's kind of what it comes down to, right? So when you remember that, when you're in chaotic experiences or spaces of like, I'm still allowed to be centered, I don't have to go with everybody else and be in chaos. I could stand alone and let everybody kind of run amok. And what ends up happening is that you only need one person in alignment. There's a saying from Abe Hicks: one person tapped and tuned into the universal source is stronger and mightier than a million that aren't. Because the force is that strong. The universe is that absolute, right? So even when I'm in a classroom and kids are like losing their mind, once I walk into a space, the energy always changes. And people are always like, how did you do it? Because I walk in with peace. There is no other option but to join peace with me or to leave. You have, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could go get up and go, but if you're going to be in a space with me, it's peaceful. When you have the opportunity to lead a space, you have to know that that means that your energy is going to be set in that container for everyone else. And it's possible literally for anybody. I've had people who are considered the worst of the worst with temper tantrums, like grown adults that people are terrified of. And when we have conversations and connecting with each other, they're the sweetest people to me. Because it is my energy you're engaging with, and either you will engage with me properly or we won't engage at all. And I'm good with either outcome. I don't need to engage with you if you're not going to make it a safe space for me. But I also have healthy boundaries that allow me to stand my ground in those moments where people are like, well, I'm not used to that. And that's totally fine. This might be a new experience for you. However, if I do not feel safe, I am not engaging. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes, I'm choosing to be happy on purpose, even with all the health issues. I love this for you, Tanya. I have to go to hospital tomorrow for treatment. Instead of being sad, I'm looking at this as another opportunity to live more. Exactly. And you know what's so beautiful, Tanya? Your bright, beautiful demeanor, when you're walking into a space that can, you know, by natural default be very heavy, people are going to sense that and feel good and want to be around you and just be like, oh, you know, remember, you don't have to be directly talking to somebody to influence energy in a space. So you can walk in on the ground floor and somebody on the 6th floor could just all of a sudden feel lighter because you're of your presence. Our energy is limitless. So you walking into the hospital, that might actually be what needs to happen, right? And you start to realize the deeper purpose to the things that you in which you experience, right? When I think about my diagnosis with lupus, when I would go to these spaces at first, it would be overwhelming to me because I'm just hearing how other people are suffering like me, and it made me sad. I didn't necessarily want that type of camaraderie of like, I don't want to know that you all are suffering. This is breaking my heart. And then when I shifted my perspective, going in and staying in a positive mindset, talking about the things that are working for me instead of the things that aren't working for me, I noticed that other people started doing the same and started feeling good, and that started to ripple out because our energy is powerful enough to do that. So I love that that's the choice that you're making, Tanya. And I'm super excited for you. And please keep us up to date with any health concerns so that we can continue to send you energy, okay? What about our own chaos? Yes. Oh, that's a great question. How do we handle our own chaos? There are different ways. One way we'll talk about towards the end is EFT, and it will also tap. Meditation is a great way to handle your own chaos. Moving your body. If you have like a lot of internal chaos, I would suggest moving your body first before trying to meditate. And that's for anybody. If you have a hard time meditating, my question to you would be, did you move before you meditated? Because like just going to sit down in a stationary place to explore your emotions and the energy in your head sounds wild, right? As opposed to the way it's taught like in yoga is that you go and you move your body first. You do the asana, the practices, the movements to flow the energy, to clear it out. So when you do sit in meditation, you're not sitting with chaos, you're sitting with what's left behind, right? Very important. So I would tell you to move your body first. Definitely move your body, because that's probably why you feel chaotic. It's usually because you are not moving your body. And if you're not moving your body, you're not moving the energy. The energy is just sitting there piling up, festering, and then it's just, so moving your body. You can do that through EFT, tapping to move the energy. Reiki also helps too if you're somebody that's into Reiki. You can do it through pretty much any wellness modality can help you to quiet or soothe the internal chaos. Also, just acknowledging that you feel chaotic can immediately nip it in the bud. Chaos thrives on you not acknowledging it, or you trying to hide it out of like embarrassment or guilt for feeling chaotic. We tend to hide it like, no, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Really, you're losing your mind. Be honest and be like, I'm losing my mind right now. This is how I feel. I feel chaotic. I openly say that all the time. Or I'm just like, hey, I feel really chaotic right now. And the minute that I say it, all of a sudden it's just like, like you just called me out? Like, wait a minute, wait, whoa. And then I'm like, oh, okay. I was feeling chaotic. Now I'm able to think a little clearer and do a little bit more and build on that energy. Okay? Thank you. My win, I returned to the fight gym yesterday and began training. Okay, Goddess Mo. Ooh, that's so freaking cool. Thank you for sharing. Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that win. Yes. Maya Angelou. Yes, I love Maya Angelou. I've been seeing angel numbers for weeks, several times a day. How can use this sign to guide me? I would look up what the angel numbers mean. They usually they have really clear definitions of what they mean, and that literally tells you what it is that you need to know about them. And another component of that is thinking about what you were thinking about when you saw that sign, because it's an answer to what you were thinking about. I was in a funk for several weeks, finally out of it. Yes, Vita. Mil gracias for the 3-part reminder. Appreciate you, Lotus. Vita, I'm so happy to hear you're out of your funk. Yes. Refusing to be triggered by somebody. Yeah. And refusing to be triggered by them. And they talk about this again too, right? In the Celestine Prophecy about not engaging with someone's control drama. Like we talked about in our control drama session a few weeks ago. If I don't engage with you, there's no other choice but for you to leave or for you to disengage from your control drama, and let's get to the messages as to why we were connected to each other in the first place. It really does help so much. Like so much. This is all new experience for me. I've been told I'm a spiritual being. Oh, we all are, Kelly. And it's okay if it feels new for you. There are tons of resources to help you navigate that spiritual aspect of yourself. One of the books that I talk about all the time that will really help you is this book, The Celestine Prophecy. Such a great book to understand your spirituality or how spirituality resonates with you. Yes, yes, yes. Don't need to get discombobulated with someone. Yes. Yes, I'm so friendly to all the nurses and they want to always talk and share books and podcasts with them. You probably brighten up their day. There are a lot of patients, rightfully so, that come in and they're doom and gloom because it's not easy being. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Here we go. Let's see if this helps. Okay, there we go. How do you how do you work on improving your energy? EFT is a great way to do it. Staying hydrated, moving your body is a great way to build up your energy. Prayer is a good way to build up your energy. Anything that's going to allow your energy to flow builds up your energy, right? Like to feel stronger, to feel brighter, any of those things. Clearing your energy, like cord cutting. I have a cord cutting audio on Insight Timer you can use. That's a great way to clear up your energy and to build up your energy by making sure you're not connected to outdated dynamics. Because anything that we interact with, we have a cord to. Like I have a cord connected to every single one of you, right? Like literally, just in us conversing and us connecting and me thinking of you, there's a cord there. So sometimes it's good when I feel a little bit overwhelmed, realizing that I might be taking on other people's energy and not really feeling my own. Cord cutting allows me to come back and recalibrate and witness my own energy again. Does that make sense? Someone at work seemed to be mad because I asked for help. I don't need to get jacked up with them. No, yeah. Because again, you probably triggered their control drama and they will have the time and energy to sort that out. If you want to engage with them and help them sort that out, then you can do that. If you're just kind of like, I don't want to engage, you also don't have to engage. Oh, I love this, Tanya. I sometimes flash back emotionally to parents who would erupt when I was young. They sound like they were the intimidators in the control dramas, right? And the intimidators need a poor me, someone that feels very weak, or they need another intimidator. It depends. So like for me, growing up, I became another intimidator because I was just like, you're not about to bully me, right? Some people are just like, if I play small and weak, if I fawn, right, maybe they'll let me live. And that could be energetically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, depending on the environment and the dynamic. You're so welcome, Kelly. I know, right? The way that I promote this book, I really should. Nikki, hi! Yes, I can. Celestine Prophecy. All the books that I recommend are always in the emails that I send out to with direct links to them. And if I have like a free version of it, there's also a direct link to the free version. But if there's something that's paid for, I have a direct link for that too. Yes. Yeah, I'm so happy you're here. This is my first time here. I somehow found you yesterday. Oh my goodness. Ah, welcome. I just want you to know I love it here and I'm so glad I find your beautiful energy and soul. Thank you. That brings me so much joy. And you'll notice too, the community is just like creme de la creme. I talk about it all. I literally brag about you guys all the time. I'm just like, my community's the best. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yeah, everybody here is so wonderful. Hi, Silverback. I was the other intimidator with my father. Yeah. But that's a natural response. The way you would disengage. I don't know if you got up to that part in the book yet, Jack, but you would disengage by asking head on the question when it comes to the control drama of like, why are you being so aggressive? Instantly dissolves their need to be in their control drama, and either they'll ask a question or they might amp up again. If they amp up again, you can continue to ask a question that makes them face their control drama of like, I am not going to engage with you this way. You're not going to put fear in me to where I need to bully you or where I need to feel like I need to, run for my life. If this is a dynamic you want to maintain, right? Because also too, if it feels unsafe, go. But if it's like a parent or something like that, it's as simple as like, why are you aggressive right now? Is there not a better way for you to communicate this to me? Maybe we could wait for another time. It doesn't sound like you're ready to communicate with me. Yelling I cannot understand if you're yelling. I say that all the time. Someone's yelling, especially kids, I'm like, I can't hear you if you're yelling. I don't know what you need if you're yelling. And they immediately stop and they drop their voice and like, can you help with this thing? I'm like, oh my goodness, yes. Oh, is that what you were saying this whole time? I can totally do that. But again, it's about me staying centered and making sure that I am not leaning into their control dramas. Kids have them as well. You know what I mean? And it just helps so much in just navigating life and feeling less stress. I'm conscientious about, like, am I taking on this person's stress and drama? Do I want to? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm feeling a little feisty. Other times I'm just like, oh, I think I have enough energy right now to like help you navigate through this. So I'll take this on with you and help you carry this load. Other times I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to engage with you. Okay? Perfect. Yay! Yes, Marquand, it's a really good book. Hi. Why do people fawn? People fawn, Amber, because it's one of the 4 responses. And it's literally an instinctual thing that people do. So you have fight. Some people are fighters. They're going to just fight, 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 fight. My mom is a natural fighter. I'm a natural fighter, right? You have flight. People that will always run, right? They actually don't have an issue with the law of detachment. they do it too much to the point where they disassociate, right? Then you have fight, flight, fawn. People who utilize feeling and looking smaller and weaker so that people don't attack them. It's literally a survival mechanism that we are built with. It's just that depending on your environment, you might have cultivated the fight as opposed to the fawn. And then there's the freeze, where you literally are paralyzed, whether that's like you're stopping or like energetically you have paralyzed yourself so that you are no longer a threat. It's usually a response to a threat. So people who fawn, they tend to go through the poor me control drama, which does irritate me a lot personally. I'm very much like, why are you dimming your power? However, I understand it as, if I make myself small, usually an intimidator, any human being, even if they're not in alignment, will not harm something that feels small and weak, right? You have to really be disassociated in your mind to do that. Think about, like, if a child does something to you, it's a child. You're less likely to respond in a violent way towards a kid because you're like, you're small, you don't really know anything. Like, you're kind of annoying though, but like, whatever. I'm not going to like talk to you as if you were a peer or an equal. So you use the fawn survival tactic so that you look lesser than, so that threat is like, you're not even worth the time, right? Or like, it would be unfair to do. Usually that's the response that they're hoping for. That doesn't always happen. But normally when someone fawns, it tends to have the aggressor soothe themselves and like, okay, like, it's fine. It immediately puts them back almost into their humanity a bit if they're not too far dissociated, and be like, okay, I kind of got a little out of control there. My bad. Let me reel it back in. Because now you look afraid and scared. That really wasn't my purpose. My purpose was to control you and to gain your energy, not for you to be afraid of me, right? Usually people's responses are that way to people that fawn. Again, but if you're dissociative, then that's a different story. You might get a lot of pleasure from harming people and things that are weaker than you. But that's a deep sense of disharmony. It's not a natural response to fawning. Does that make sense? Disengage, yes, rather than playing partner drama, yes. It's someone who takes frustration out on others. Yes, been thinking of changing my pick and name. Then change it, Silverback. I can't wait to see the new name. Yes. Yes. That's why I don't like it. It feels manipulative. They're all manipulative. You know, one thing I want to say too about manipulation, it does get a bit of a bad rap. We all manipulate, right? I manipulate my hair, right? I manipulate how my energy is perceived from people. Manipulation itself is not a bad thing. It is how you use the tool that is bad. Again, it's that understanding of the practice is not the issue. The people or the person might be, right? They're all manipulation tactics. Fighting is manipulation tactic. I'm willing to put force on you, right? Whether that's through argument, through physicality, to prove that I am better so that I can feel safer. That's manipulation. Flight, manipulation is, I'm going to leave you, desert you, and have you be here by yourself with whatever energy is left over so that I can feel safe. Fawn is a manipulation of, I'm going to have you look at me like I'm weaker than you so that you don't harm me, right? Freeze is manipulating by, I am not going to move in hopes that you do not see me. They're all forms of manipulation, all four of them. A lot of what we do is manipulation. When you're talking about working with energy, you're manipulating energy to benefit you, to help you. When we're meditating, that's a form of manipulation. You're literally manipulating your mind to be more centered, to be more quiet, to be more in tune with divinity. Manipulation itself is not a negative thing. How we use it, the intention behind the manipulation is it, right? That's very important, the intention, because the intention directly affects the impact. So if someone's intention, like, yeah, I'm just gonna pretend to be weaker because then they'll give me exactly what I want. Yeah, not cool, right? Like, but that's the intention. It's not the manipulation. It's gonna happen regardless. The manipulation happens regardless. The intention matters. So a great way that I can like describe manipulation. Manipulation is adjacent to like understanding like shape-shifting, if you will. So when you talk about like energetic healing, beauty magic, like shape-shifting is to have you present yourself in a certain way that fits a new environment. But it's a bit, I don't want to say advanced, but I'm going to use advanced because I don't have another word right now. It's a bit more advanced than, I really don't want to use the word advanced. If I manipulate how I look to go in a certain setting, right? Let's say I'm going to a country club, right? I would want to wear and look and present in a way that will allow me to assimilate to a degree so that I can interact with other people. It's a way of disarming others. So that if I came in, you know, in a different attire that's not accepted in a social club, there or in a country club, they're not going to be as receptive to me, which would make it harder for me to interact and navigate and receive whatever it is that I want to receive from that environment, right? It's like going to a black tie event in sweatpants. You're not going to get a positive reaction. So you would need to manipulate the situation by addressing the part so that you can have the experience that you need to have. That's not necessarily a negative thing. The intention matters. Let's see. That's actually very fair. I'm a fighter. Yeah, Jasmine, I'm a fighter too. I'm a fighter. And then sometimes I'll just be like, I don't have it. I'm not doing this. I'm out. See you when I see you. Yes, the dramas form in childhood depending on family dynamics. Yes, yes, yes. I've noticed fawning people were mostly raised in a way where parents may have been more neglectful than aggressive. They fawn in an effort to try to make their parents care for them, love them. Yes, I agree. They were conditioned that fawning is how you show love. Narcissistic parents can raise fawning behaviors too. Agreed. Is it Averly? I agree with you 100%. Great point. Yes, amazing. It's totally unconscious, usually a trauma response. Exactly, Ginger. Hi, Ginger. Yes, I had a narcissistic parent as well, but I didn't fawn. But what I realized is that subconsciously, to a certain degree, I did when I was diagnosed, because that's when I was getting that love and attention because I was essentially sick. And my mom was just like, oh my God, like my baby's sick. Let me take care of her. And I had never really experienced that type of care from her. But I also wasn't willing to remain sick to get that type of care from her. And then that fighter side just kind of came back out again. I love the clarity of it all. Yay! I fought, siblings did other things. Exactly. I aim to not see situations today are not the same as what I grew up in when my parents literally had power over me. Yes, agreed. Very true. Many different dynamics in the household, I'm sure. Just something I noticed with fawners, all seem conditioned from childhood that they had to essentially love bomb the people they care about to be accepted. And that's totally possible. That still goes into the poor me control drama, right? The poor me control drama, each control drama has different like subsectors. That's a part of the poor me, of like still it's poor me, right? Of like, please come care for me, come cater to me, come acknowledge my humanity. It's still a form of manipulation, you know? I used to fight, but now I freeze or fly. Amber, you're not alone. Why is it that I'm afraid to show my successes in different areas? Because you feel unsafe in those spaces. When in most ways people do. Well, remember, we never compare ourselves to other people because we have different life experiences, a different set of energy. Our energetic baselines are different. There's so many reasons as to why we don't show up the same way other people show up. Like there's so many reasons as to why. There's not just one, right? that's something to keep in mind. I think it has to do with my family's past, old energy. It could also be that as well. It could be your control drama, and if you've accepted it and been able to transform it as well. It's sad to see others congratulate you and not your family. Yeah, it can be. Yes. These can be, right? It can be sad. These barriers are in my way because I'm still connected to people who don't see or want or acknowledge your power that others see. I always remind people that your energy goes where your focus goes. I want to say that's the same sentence, but it feels different in my head. But essentially, whatever you pour your energy into is what you're going to receive more of. So for me, a lot of my family that I speak of, they're not related to me biologically. I don't really talk to most of my biological family to begin with, and that does not bother me at all. It's not something that I'm sad about whatsoever. One, because I understand that where my attention goes, my energy flows. I focus on people that do care about me. That's just it sounds a bit harsh in how I'm saying it, of like, well, I still want like my people. They're not your people. If they were your people, sometimes you are born into an environment. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to stay there or that that environment is you, right? Again, it goes back to the book of when we're born into certain dynamics, why we're born there. So you're usually born to two parents, whether the parents are there or not is irrelevant. But they have their own control dramas that are supposed to trigger you to remember your destiny and as to why you're here, right? That does not mean that once you understand why you're here, their control dramas dissipate and no longer exist. They have to choose to get out of their control dramas. If they don't want to get out of their control dramas, that's not your concern or your business. It's not even essentially a barrier either. That is their path for their life. Remember, not everyone is here for the entire lifetime, no matter what their title is at all. There was a period of time where I wasn't speaking to my mother at all, whatsoever. She was not a part of that journey. And now she's back. Some people ebb and they flow. Some people stay with you for a little bit and they go away. You never see them again. Some people come towards the end of your life experience and make it blissful. There's so many different ways for you to live your life. If you get hell bent on a certain particular way and you're holding that person to that thing, you're not essentially practicing the law of detachment, right? You're hyper fixated on the outcome. The outcome is, because you have this title in my life, you need to respond this way. And if you're not doing it this way, you're hurting my feelings or making me feel like I'm not enough. These are all choices. Because the truth is, they can respond that way. You could be like, that's cool. However, this other person that I met that feels like family, looks at me, loves on me, sees me the way that I need to be seen. I'm going to focus in on that. A lot of my motherly love came from other women that were not my mom. And that can go back down to like culture where we had a village that raised kids as opposed to just two parents, to opposed to a nuclear household. Like, you're supposed to get that love other places too. And when you get that love from other people outside of your parents, it does make you a naturally more confident person. You have more courage because you're not tied genetically to the people that birth you. You realize that that love can come from anywhere. The reason why I feel so loved and cared for is because, you know, a lot of people talk about like the fact that like if you don't have a dad in your life, you're gonna have daddy issues, things like that. I've never had daddy issues at all whatsoever. Like, it's never crossed my mind to feel less than because a parent was not a part of my life. Because I had men who were not biologically attached to me at all, who literally saw me as a baby and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be in this girl's life and take care of her. And they've done it until they've passed. So my level of confidence as to me being loved and cared for is not derived off of my biological father being in my life. Otherwise, I'd be in shambles. It's based off of the people that showed up and took care of me. It didn't matter what their title was. It mattered their actions and how they treated me. That superseded all of that. That's why I was able to break down any barriers that would have came up that would have caused me to question my self-worth. Because there are so many examples in your life, probably in this moment, of people that pour into you, that acknowledge you, that see you, that are just like, oh my goodness, you are literally so wonderful. And we get caught up on the titles that people carry as to why they're not doing it. I can easily ask myself why my mom feels the way she feels about me. Or I can acknowledge the fact that my sister's mom is very loving to me. My mentors are very loving to me. I have a lot of maternal energy in my life. I have my own divine mother that takes care of me within me. I focus on those things because those things, one, help me to feel better. They allow me to show up and live out my purpose. Focusing in on my mother and I dynamic when it's not great does literally nothing to service me or her. It is literally a misservice for both of us. And it doesn't make any sense to harp on those people when they're not in alignment with you. It's like forcing somebody to be in alignment with you. It's unfair to you. It's a misuse of your energy, and it's unfair to them because they don't want to be in alignment right now. And we have to be okay with that. It doesn't mean that they don't love you. It doesn't mean they don't care about you. It means that the things that you require from me to be in line with you, I don't have. I don't have the patience, or I don't have the kindness, or I don't have the compassion to be in alignment with you. I don't have that skill set. And you're asking me to do a job that I don't have the qualifications for. But you're saying I have it because of my title, right? We do this so much. And that's what causes that disharmony, those power struggles in our relationships, because we are constantly asking somebody to be somewhere where they're not ready to be there. And we have to allow that. Once we start seeing those signs of like, oh, you're being a little mean to me, or you're not treating me with love and compassion. Like, instead of it being like, what's wrong with me, or like, why are they doing that? It's more of a, you don't have that skill set. Cool. I assume the best of like, if you had the skill set, you would treat me well. Now, whether that's true or not is not my business. I'm not about to go into detail and figure out if that's true or not, because there's other things for me to do with my time and my energy. I'm going to assume you don't have the skill set. And if you had the skill set and you're no longer displaying it, you no longer have the skill set for me. That's fine. Go on about your day. Go on to the people that you do have that time and pay and space for. Go give that to them so you can remain in alignment. You don't have to be in alignment with me my entire life. It's really unfair to us, to yourself, to force people to be parallel to you when that's not what they're ready to do. And I say that with such clarity because when I was younger, I was that way. Because I had big energy, because I had that intimidator control drama, I would just force people to be along with me because I appreciate their companion and I knew that I would take care of them. I never considered the fact that they may not want that journey for themselves, or that may not be what they're here to do. It took me some time to realize, like, just because I love and care about you does not mean that you have to be side by side with me in this life journey. This is also a way that we practice the law of detachment. It's not just from outcomes and from things we desire, it's also from relationships. Does that make sense? I was stuck between divorced parents, and I think that helped shape me into the human I am today. Jasmine, I love it. Hi, Kieran. You changed your name. Hi, Heather. Yes, complex. They call all the variables overdetermined, many reasons for combining. I have a lot of community outside of family. Same. So it's not I walk in and see many, but I don't see them. Talk to me, Makwan. I see my family, but don't. It's hard when they're so close. I'm learning. Thank you. Take your time too. And I say all that with love. It's also because I don't want to see that you're hurting from people that genuinely cannot do anything about how they are. They have to be awake. They have to know that what they're doing is hurting you. And sometimes telling them that does not mean that they're awake. It just means you told them that, right? Think about the lenses that people have, right? If I don't have on the correct lenses, I cannot see you clearly. You could tell me it in vivid detail, but I cannot see you clearly until I am ready to put on those glasses. And a lot of times people will prefer to operate in their control dramas because it is familiar. And I cannot remember who spoke about it earlier today, but uncertainty is the only thing that we are certain of, right? People don't want to hear that. They love that feeling of false control, which means that if you are asking them to do something that's outside of their comfort zone, you are asking them to let go of that false control, to let go of that familiar, and to let go of that sense of safety they've grown up and depended on so that they can be there for you. It is a big ask that not everyone is going to answer the way that you want them to. That is why I'm saying it like that. We're all learning, first and foremost, right? These are things that I still have to navigate through as well as a practitioner. But I want to share these insights with you because I want you to know within of like me connecting and forcing this thing is only harming me. And it's probably also harming that other person that you love and care about. We can think we're doing things that are what's best for the other person, but you literally have no idea at all. You're doing the best you can with what you got, and vice versa. The difference is that you seem to be awake and they are not awake. And that's okay. It's completely, I know it doesn't seem okay. It's like, no, girl, I really want this person to be awake with me. You have to let go of that desire, because that desire, you're suffocating that desire, right? And then you're not giving it any space for it to breathe and to grow and to bloom, because you don't believe that it's possible for that to be a thing for you, right? It kind of goes back to the ask, believe, receive. You're asking to be in alignment with these people, but do you believe you can be in alignment with these people? And are you giving yourself and them the space to receive it? Does that make sense? I'm not close to relatives, but it's just that we're so different. Yeah, and that's fine. Needed to hear that. I will let that thought of, because of family, I had to deal with it. It doesn't serve me. Yeah, it doesn't serve you. Yeah, exactly. It's not blood ties that necessarily make family. Agreed. Reinforce my faith and strength and love and commitment to Logan. Exactly. And I love that, because if you didn't have that experience with your father, you may not have had that desire with Logan, right? Like, you start to see the bigger picture after a while, right? The way that I love on my nieces and my nephews, I realize, because that's how my uncles and aunts loved on me. They loved on me like that all the time. So of course I would then continue that legacy, right? I've been told the same, that I'm selfish or harsh because it doesn't bother me to not be around my biological family. I'm no contact with my mother right now. And then I always say that I'm selfish and I'm harsh. Now what? This is also how we take our, we acknowledge our power. Like, so you've said that I'm selfish and harsh. There's nothing else after, like, yeah, because you are. Okay. Like, you don't feel a way about that? No, because I know that's not true. That's how you feel about me, and you're allowed to have any feelings you want about me, actually. You can feel however you want to feel about me. It's really not my business. I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. So if you feel like that's interpreted through selfish, it's because you have on a different pair of lenses. That's cool that I'm selfish. Now what? It literally always, every time you acknowledge that, it takes away that power of, like, because they want you to feel guilt and embarrassment and shame. They're trying to use the old tribal tactics to keep you in alignment. But once you're too awake, you can't do that. And you're just kind of like, oh, then that's what it is. For such a long time, my mom would tell my family members that I'm like the worst daughter ever. And I'm just like, then I'm the worst daughter ever. Now what? Like, sure. Because I'm also like, I know you don't necessarily mean that. You're just trying to, again, manipulate me, right? into doing what you want, behaving the way you want to. And I'm not willing to do that. So then I am a bad daughter. Now what? These are opportunities for us to grow and heal our ego too. Because then when you're able to get criticism back that you know is not in alignment with your truth, you can disregard it. That strengthens your ego and allows your ego to remain healthy, instead of it being unhealthy, where you're like, I have to prove that I'm not a bad daughter. I'm going to prove to you I'm the best daughter ever. That's an unhealthy ego. A healthy ego is like, if that is how you feel, I can respect that. I don't agree with it at all. And I can't understand why you would say that to me, or think that way about me, or do those things to me. But I don't have to understand them, because I'm not living your life. We don't have the same destiny. And if I pour my energy into trying to comprehend your madness, I'm going to also descend into madness. And you just told me that I'm a bad person, or that I'm not worth it. Why would I then go on that journey with you? That doesn't make any sense. Does that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you start to ask yourself these questions and you're like, you know what? Yeah, like, then I guess this is what it is. I'm just a bad person. Cool. Good to know. Right? Yeah, black sheep are cool. I agree. Heather, hi. I have always been the black sheep of my family. It's true to focus on those who do love you, understand you, accept you. Yes. Marquand, I really feel like you would benefit from reading this book. And then please DM me, email me, like, let me know. I really feel like you'd benefit from this book. I think it would really help to broaden your understanding of, like, why. Because when you are a light, or you are like a legacy shifter, it's very jarring. Like, it doesn't make sense logically, but it's not supposed to. Spiritual things do not make sense logically. They're not supposed to. They're intuitive, they're ancestral, they're instinctive. It's supposed to feel a certain way, but it may not make logical sense when you say it out loud. You know? But being in spaces and community where other people are like, I can hear you, I can empathize with you because I've had a similar experience, that does help us to then make sense of the confusion around, like, why can't we just get in alignment together? Why would I be born to a family that doesn't see me? And the truth is, there's a reason for it. I mean, we may be able to talk about this next week if you guys want to, but they go in depth in this book as to why we're born in certain situations. And I can definitely share my story as to how I realized what I'm here to do based off of having an intimidator and an aloof parent, and what that provided me and the control drama it gave me, and how I utilize that control drama to transcend and get to the space in which I'm at now, where I'm able to really live in my purpose and find my soul group, which is why I'm never shocked when I say something to you all and you all are like, oh, me too. Because I've attracted my soul group. That comes with the understanding of your control drama. Okay? Here we go. I'm tired of having to conform. I agree, Kelly. I agree. Oh, I missed your comment. It says asking me to do a job I don't have the qualifications for. I can't see the last part. Connecting right now for a few people in my life. Okay, I'm happy to hear that. I was the black sheep. Also, I somehow have attracted lots of black sheep in my life. I love them. Yeah, same here. They're always so funny too, right? Expecting compatibility when time is not ready, or maybe ever. Yeah, exactly. I look for family like neighbors. If it's close, it's great. But it's not automatic. Agreed. My relatives literally can't see me and it's okay. Yes. Oh, yes, I tried to explain for months. Just not going to get it. Yes, they don't have the right glasses. Agreed. Yes. Sounds good, but my daughter cut me off. Hi, is Jilsa? Didn't tell me she had a daughter. Now I found out there are others, and I haven't seen her for 9 years. And again, I know that that's intense, and also I feel for you, right? We don't necessarily know why those things happen, right? We don't know. Like, my mom, when I went no contact with my mom, she literally had no idea as to why. She was very confused by it. But it also was because she wasn't aware of what was happening, and vice versa, right? When she decided that she was like, well, I'm not going to go no contact with you either, I didn't understand why she was doing that, right? It comes with time. So even though it's been 9 years and that feels extremely long, we have no idea what that time frame feels like for your child in their mind. They may not even realize that it's been 9 years, or it may not feel like it's enough time for them to feel ready to talk about why they made the decision that they made. And that could be for guilt. Maybe they feel bad about it and they don't want to come back around because they're like, damn, I really just did something that I have to live with now. Or they don't know why they did it and they don't want to come back around because they don't have the answers for you, or they're not ready to deal with the emotional impact that might carry. There's so many reasons as to why people do not circle back around in the time frame that we think that they should. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are wrong for their decision. It just means that they're living their life and they were doing whatever they felt was best for them in that time frame. And it's okay if you do not agree with it. And if you feel like that was something that deeply hurt you, you're also allowed to feel that way. There are always two things that are true at the same time, because there are two people involved and we have different perspectives on life. Yes. You want to know why as well. She might not know why. She may not know why she made that decision. That might have been an instinctual decision for her to make, and she's not able to explain that to you. And coming back into contact with you without answers wouldn't benefit either of you, because you clearly need an answer that she may not have, or she's not ready to share, or she's trying to figure out how to share that answer with you. There are so many different reasons as to why. The suggestion that I would give is to continue doing that internal work for yourself, to witness your own control drama, to dismantle that control drama, to also see where you have maternal and like that daughter-mother dynamic with other people. And if you don't, maybe working on building that up, so when that dynamic does come back around, if it does, you have a better understanding of it, because what was happening before wasn't working for either of you. Otherwise, you guys still have that connection. Does that make sense? Use the time wisely to pour into yourself, to take care of yourself, to focus in on yourself. I feel like a lot of parents don't focus in on themselves. That's one of my biggest prayers for my mom every single day, is that she just pours into herself. Like, don't even worry about me, which I know people are like, well, you have to always worry about your kid. I get it. But like as a child, with a mom that was hyper focused on her entire life, my biggest prayer is that my mom just takes care of herself. That she just goes out and learns her favorite color and goes to concerts and dances in the rain, like lives life, because she was a woman before I existed. And I want her to have that womanhood. That is a deep desire I have for my mother, right? So in our time away from each other, my prayer would be for her to take care of herself. Whether she understood that or knew that or not is irrelevant to the point that that is my desire for her. Does that make sense? So while you guys have that separation, take care of yourself. You can unapologetically take care of you, because that responsibility of being that parent, she has accepted that responsibility for right now, for however long she chooses to. So take this opportunity that's been given to you to like pour into yourself, to care for yourself, to go and heal your own inner child wounds, to reconnect with your own mother if you're able to, if they're still living, or to heal that dynamic energetically. There's so many other things you can do with your time than wondering why this thing happened when you're not going to get that answer right now in this moment. Okay? These are just suggestions. Of course, do whatever feels best for you to do. These are just things that I would suggest to if you were like a one-on-one client. Here we go. I'm going to fix this a little bit. Okay, I want to make sure that we stay on track because we just hit the 1:30 mark. Okay. Oh, Johanna, it is the Celestine Prophecy. Yes, hi you. The Celestine Prophecy is the name of the book. No, you didn't miss it. We're going to jump into tapping now. Hi, TJ. We're going to jump into tapping right now. I'm a trauma cycle breaker. Yes, you are. Yeah, the book is called The Celestine Prophecy. Any book that I talk about will always be in the email list. Always. Their book is literally always there. I make sure that you guys have access to it. Bye, Vita. Okay, let's do it. Let's tap. Okay? Making sure everybody's good. Just broke off from family. It's okay, Amber. Very painful, but I feel energetically completely different. It's a good thing, and yet I'm sad. Yeah, grief is a part of starting over. Literally what my third episode of my podcast is all about. I have to run. Someone needs help. Okay, go ahead. Go, Heather. We'll see you later. Yes. Okay. So, does all of that make sense for you? Okay. I'm going to leave the rest of the notes in the garden for you guys. But essentially, the 3 reasons why we attach ourselves to the outcome is fear-based living, because we're living in fear. Because our creativity and our intuition is blocked. So it makes it very hard for us to even see that there can be a different outcome to our lives. And that we create resistance to change because we are afraid of the unfamiliar and the uncertainty in life. So those are the 3 reasons why we attach ourselves to outcome. And 3 ways that we can come back into alignment and release our need to control the outcome. EFT, which we'll be tapping in a second. Daily surrender practice, journaling and meditation helps us to let go and to make space. And then the 3rd one is focusing on the process and not the outcome. And focusing on the process just means like taking care of yourself really well. So that way when you get the divine nudges and insights and the signs and the angel numbers, you know how to properly act on them to move forward into receiving whatever divine outcome is for you, as opposed to the designed outcome you created for yourself. Okay? Okay. And then we're going to do our EFT session. And while you guys get ready for that, please go ahead and drink some water. If you've never done EFT with me before, do not worry. We're going to have so much fun. I'm going to guide you through the entire experience. Before I do, remember, this is a donation-based practice. So if at any moment in time you received an aha moment or something felt really good to you or helped you move through something in life and you're able to donate financially, please do. You can donate now or later on the Insight Timer app. It all helps me to live my life as a practitioner. If you're unable to donate, you can do things like subscribe to the podcast. You can share an episode. You can subscribe to YouTube, leave a comment, engage with me on other platforms. These are all great ways to show gratitude for whatever it is that you received today. So if you can donate financially, great. If you can't donate financially, you can do so with your time and energy by showing love to something I've created, okay? And I'm going to drop the name of my podcast in the chat. It's Lotus Like. It's available on all platforms, and then you guys can always find me anywhere with my name. Do this. I kind of feel like, yeah, if you just put that space there, we should be good. Okay. Okay. Tell Logan we said hi. Yes. fear-based living, block creativity and intuition, and resistance to change. Yay, thanks TJ. Isn't there a difference? Isn't there a difference in the amount you receive now versus later? Can you clarify that question for me a bit more before we jump in? Yeah. Much love from Ireland. Yeah, Brandy, can you express that? I heard during lives it's tax or something. Yes, 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 yeah. I don't know. I'm not too sure when it comes to the platform for Insight Timer because we hear different things as practitioners in the back end. But yes, if you're on Apple, they take an extra percentage of our donations, which is like really wild because I went from maybe like 400 to getting like $100, which is a big gap. So yeah, it still helps, like every penny counts, but yes, it's a big financial difference, a lot. And then they also take away the feature of where practitioners are able to get paid through responses, even though we respond anyway. A lot of teachers were like manipulating this or something like this, and they've taken that away too, which has lowered income a lot severely for a lot of practitioners, which means we have to go and find work other places. Which is why I started working with like the family one-on-one to supplement the loss that I received in tips and in donations. So yes, that is a true statement. I've personally experienced it. However, in my emails, there's always alternative ways to donate if you don't want to donate through the platform. That goes directly to me as a practitioner. I'm not able to talk about them on live or to leave them here, but in my emails, they're literally always there. And what I'll do is just move it up so people can see it. Okay? Yeah. Oh, yay. I love that he's in dance. Yeah, I want every penny to you. Oh, thank you, Brandy. Should we wait till after the live and donate then? I wonder if that changes it. Yes, if you're on Android, you should be fine. But I'm not 100% sure, Brandy. But if you send me your email via direct message on Insight Timer, I can add you to my email list and then you'll have access to other forms of donating if that feels better for you. Okay. Okay, Apple doesn't take anything after. So donate after the live then. Thank you for letting me know that. Perfect. Okay, perfect. All right. So EFT. Oh, okay. So it's good for me to know. Okay, perfect. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just do this afterwards then. Thank you guys for letting me know this. Again, this is information that we don't necessarily always have access to as practitioners, which is always a good time. But yes, EFT stands for emotional freedom techniques, and it is the beautiful healing art form of tapping into our energy center, our aura, our meridian pathways that help to influence our energy by tapping on ancient acupressure points along the body. And as we do that, we're saying affirmations or statements that help bring up whatever is stuck in the body so that we can connect our energy together and feel more vibrant. Right? When we're tapping, you could yawn, you might tear up, you might belch, you might get really tired, you might get super energized, you may even feel tingling in your fingers. These are all ways and symptoms that show that your energy is connecting again and being released. So just allow your body to do what it needs to do that, to release the energy. If you are super sensitive, or you're a highly sensitive person, or you're an empath and you feel things deeply, what I would love for you to do is try out a different form of tapping. So traditionally, you would lightly tap with one finger, two fingers, all the fingers, either side, doesn't matter. But if you're sensitive, I want you to try pulsating, where you keep the hand to the body, rubbing, or just hovering. This still affects you. There's no wrong way to tap. All these ways are hyper effective. It will allow you to clear out your energy. It just really matters on what feels best for you. If you do feel overstimulated in the session, I want you to pause. I want you to give yourself a cross-body hug. Take a nice deep inhale, exhale, and drink some water. And if you feel better afterwards, you can join us again. If not, you could just say the affirmations, okay? So we're doing 10 tapping points today, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. We're doing 10 tapping points today. So it's the side of hand between the pinky knuckle bone and the wrist bone. You would lightly tap, pulse, rub, or hover here. Top of the head where the crown chakra would be. Start the brow on either side of the third eye chakra. You would trace your brow bone to the side of your eye where your ocular bone is, and you would tap on the bone, not the temple. You would tap here. Trace underneath, still feeling the ocular bone. Tap under the eyes. Underneath the nose, above the top lip, you would tap here. In the crease of our chin, we would tap here. Collarbone, you would tap in that soft area. I like to connect the thumb sometimes if you need to find a point. This helps you find the direct tapping point. And then where the thumbs are is where the heart point is. So you would tap here for the heart. You would trace your underarm to the side where the rib cage is, and you would tap here. Okay, and those are our 10 tapping points. You don't need to remember them because we're going to be tapping together, and we're going to be doing 2 rounds. So before we do our first round, I want us to tune, and tuning is just documenting where we're at. So on a scale of -10 to +10, -10 being the worst you have ever felt, 0 being neutral, you don't feel good, but you also don't feel bad, and then +10 being the best you've ever felt, go ahead and drop whatever number comes up to you intuitively into the chat, okay? Do the same. Oh my goodness. Yeah, thank you for letting us know, Goddess Mo. Because I don't understand Apple. I'm like, you guys are literally a conglomerate. What do you need access to somebody's donations for? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the first round is going to be about releasing fear and control. So it might feel a little negative, the statements, but remember, when you're tapping on here, you're releasing these negative statements. You're not calling them in, okay? We're gonna start at the side of the hand. You can lightly tap, pulse, rub, or hover, and repeat after me. Your voice is medicine, so please use your voice. Deep inhale, exhale. Even though I'm attached to this outcome, I deeply accept myself. Even though I feel the need to control, I honor my feelings. Even though I'm scared to let go, I love and accept who I am. Top of the head. I'm holding on too tightly to the outcome. Brow. And I'm scared. I'm scared that if I let go, things won't go my way. Side of the eye. This fear of losing control keeps me stuck. Underneath the eye. And I feel anxious when things don't go as planned. Underneath the nose. This need to control everything is exhausting. Chin. And I'm afraid to trust in the universe completely. Collarbone. What if things don't turn out the way that I want them to? Heart. It's so hard for me to trust the process. It leaves me feeling out of harmony, misaligned, unseen, unsafe. Underneath the arm. This attachment is creating deep resistance in my life. And I hate that. It's hard for me. I don't enjoy this. I feel heavy and unable to live my life in a joyful way. Place your hands in your lap. Take a nice deep inhale, exhale. And I want you to think of that tuning scale again. -10 being the worst you've ever felt, 0 being I don't feel bad, I don't feel good, and then +10 being the best you've ever felt. And go ahead and drop that second number in the chat. And once you're done, you can go ahead and take a sip of water, and then we're going to do the positive round, okay? Okay. Okay, beautiful. I'm so happy you were out of 10 regardless. That's amazing. Okay, let's start. We're going to tap here. Take a nice deep inhale, exhale. Beautiful. And repeat after me. Even though I'm learning to let go, and it's hard a little bit sometimes, I deeply accept myself. Even though I may not know how or when things will work out, I am building up my trust in the universe, source, whoever you call on to, that it has my back. Even though I'm releasing control, I still feel safe and supported. Top of head. I am ready to release attachment and to trust the process. Brow. I trust Source is guiding me to my highest good. Side of the eye. I am open to receiving all that is meant for me in divine timing. Underneath the eye. And I don't need to control everything to feel safe and successful. Underneath the nose. I release the need to know how or when things will happen. Chin. I trust that everything is unfolding perfectly. Collarbone. I am co-creating with the universe. And I am supported and loved in that relationship. Heart. I am aligned with my desires. And I have faith in the process. That's in my life. And then we're going to go to the side underneath the arm, excuse me. I let go of control, lovingly, happily, and embrace flow, ease, and abundance in all of its many forms. I am willing to bear witness to refocus my energy and my attention on seeing them. I want you to place your hands over your heart space. Close your eyes if that feels good. Take a nice deep inhale, breathing in. Slow exhale, letting go. And repeat this affirmation. I trust the process. I release control. And I open myself to the highest good with ease and grace. Deep inhale, breathing into the heart space. Bring a smile to our face. And on our exhale, letting go, softening the shoulders, dropping our hands into our laps. And then thinking of that tuning scale one last time. -10 being the worst you've ever felt. 0 being I don't feel good, I don't feel bad. And then +10 being the best you've ever felt. And go ahead and drop a number in the chat. Okay. I thank you so much for being here and staying such a long time with me. Please go and enjoy your day. You should get an email from me either tomorrow or Friday or Saturday. I try to send one out Thursday and Saturday, but sometimes it just happens one of those days. And it'll have the replay link for this session, as well as the updated times for Lotus Hour on Sunday, okay? And any other things. If you guys need me for anything, please feel free to direct message me or email me. You can always respond to the emails. I literally talk to Ginger all the time via email. And yes, I love you so much. I hope that this was helpful. If you need more support, just reach out to me, okay? Beautiful. Brandy broke the scale. Thank you, Lois. I listened to the replay since I was sleepy. Yes, take your time. Very helpful. I'm so happy. Thank you, Amber and Shawnee, for joining us today. I hope to see you in an upcoming live too. Yes to your scale having no limits, period. Joanna, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for sharing your light and love with us. Thank you guys for being such a sweet and safe space for me to do so. Yesterday was amazing. Yay! Thank you for being there for me and us. I love you guys so much. I can't do the, oh my gosh, the thing that the kids, I just do the old school heart. I'm a millennial and I'm okay with that. You're so welcome. Have a great day, and I hope to see you all in an upcoming session. Please check out the latest episode of Lotus Light. It's on grief. It's a really powerful episode and can really help you if you're in your starting over phase. And there's 2 other episodes on how you can start over and what tools you need and how you can support your brain in doing that, okay? I love you all so much. Have a great day. Bye.